All right, Brian. Ghost Ryan asked a question. He asked, do traders go on tilt? Do traders go, professional traders, right? Like the big names that you hear, do they go on losing streaks? Do they go on tilt? And boy, I have a trade today that is a good example of that. So, look, I mean, long story short, yeah, of course. Of course, traders go on losing streaks. Of course, traders go on, professional traders go on tilt. Let's talk about my trade today. Like, look, losing is a part of trading. It just is. You're going to lose. I don't care who you are. You might go on win streaks and you're going to hit a loss or a string of losses. You might go on losing streaks. I mean, here, I'm going to share my screen and just show you my trading journal for the last couple weeks here. I was on a heater, dude. I was on a winning streak. I had a loss back on the 23rd of September. And then I had a break even last Thursday, 2 Thursdays ago. And then I lost today. And today's loss, like, look, I lose. I lose. Usually I don't have a string of wins together. Usually there's a couple losses sprinkled in there, but I have been on a heater. I have been having a good couple of weeks. And I'm not even mad that I lost. I don't get mad that I lose. I can have my perfect setup, A+ trade, and I can execute it with discipline, and I can lose and not feel bad about it. I can detach from that loss. I'm mad that I didn't follow my plan. I'm actually tilted over the fact that I did not follow my plan today. I could literally slap a baby right now. That's how mad I am over not following my plan today. I had 3 things going on today. I had TikTok live running, right? We're trying out a new thing, going live on TikTok. I had Discord open, New York session moving. I was not paying attention to the charts at all. I wasn't, right? I was too focused on too many different things. My brain power was placed on TikTok, on Discord, the New York session, on talking to the guys. And I heard, and this is not Dunky's fault. I heard Dunky call long. I didn't even look at the fucking charts. I didn't look at anything that I normally looked at for confirmation, right? I just hit long based off of absolutely nothing. Emotion filled the gap where it should have been confirmation. I didn't even look, dude. I just clicked buy. And again, I'm not mad because I lost. I'm mad because I broke my own rules, because my discipline broke down for me there. And I think for most traders, tilt comes from losing money. That's what it comes from. For most traders, tilt comes from losing money. But it doesn't, at least not for me. It doesn't come from losing money. I lose money, right? I've lost more money than probably most people watching this combined. I've lost money and I've come to terms with losing money. It comes from betraying my own structure. When I break my own rules, my brain goes to war with itself, and I'm literally tilted right now. But I did not take that tilt back to the charts. And I think that's what separates the pros from the amateurs. I think the amateurs would take that tilt back to the charts, and they're revenge trading. They're hopping in. That was it. I was done for the day. I knew I was emotionally wrecked from that trade, from not following my rules. So I guess, Brian, I mean, I'm sure you can relate to that. Why does breaking your own rules sting more than losing a trade?
I look at every trade these days like a relationship, and not all relationships are successful. And if it's an ugly breakup, I don't want to take to the next trade or the next relationship the same mistakes I did from the last one, right? I don't like to engage in a new relationship saying, "Oh, well, the last one hurt me real bad, and you're probably going to hurt me real bad." And when I do that, I look at it like, man, I went and did the same exact thing. It stings me, and I recently did that not too long ago. Some trader who's doing really well hit me up and said, "Hey, my system, it's all systems go. This 3 drives. I'm taking this short. It's right here." And I did the same thing. I took the short, and I didn't look into it. And then I thought, you know what? This just doesn't look right. And sure enough, I was just keeping track, and that trader got stopped out, and I closed out my trade at a small loss. But I thought, damn, I didn't break my rules. I didn't even apply my rules. I didn't even do anything. You know, I look at trading these days like poker. Um, Sometimes the river comes, you lay down your cards, and you don't have the best cards. But if you played your hand to the best of your ability and thought about the probabilities and the odds, then hey, you know what? If their straight flush beat my full house, hey, good job. You played it well. But when I look at and review a trade and say like, "Damn, what was I thinking? That was so stupid." I wasn't thinking. I didn't apply my rules. I didn't go with confirmation. That's what hurts because I'm not losing money. I'm giving it away.
Right.
So I don't mind losing, but I hate giving money away. I hate it, man. I hate late fees. I hate just giving money to the market. I hate donating money to the market. I don't mind losing, but I hate giving it away.
Yeah, and look, my trade today was the exact same way. It wasn't that I broke my own rules. I just there were no rules. Literally, like a monkey, my monkey brain took over, and I hit long. Um, and look, I think I said it in Discord at the time today. I announced it, but you know, I think I needed a slap in the face. I think that today was the market reminding me that I'm human, right? Like I've been on a heater. I've been on a heater. And today the market reminded me that hey, look, I'm human. And look, in that moment, so in the moment that I felt the anger, right? Like as soon as that trade started to go against me, I felt anger. I was angry at myself. And it was that first emotional spark is where tilt is born, right? I went on tilt, not at the charts, but I went on tilt in my own head where I was literally pissed at myself, dude. Literally super angry at myself. My brain was going to war. Call it ego, whatever. Emotions are running high. But as soon as I realized what was happening, where my emotions started to take control was the second I stepped away from the charts. And I firmly, firmly believe that is what separates the professionals from the amateurs. So do professionals lose? Do they go on losing streaks even? Sure. I've had a good couple of weeks. Trust me, I've had a bad couple of weeks too, where I just can't put anything together. But I'm going to tell you, at least recently, within the last couple of years, here's what the bad weeks are for me. It's I lose, I'm done. I lose, I'm done. I lose, I'm done. It's not lose, 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 lose. 5 trades in a day losing. It's one bullet in the chamber. I fired that shot off and I'm done. I'm done. I'm not seeing it today. I'm not going to sit there and give more money to the market. That's insanity. That's crazy talk. Soon as I see that first emotional spark, I'm just done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. So do you think, I mean, do you recognize that a lot in yourself? Like how fast do you recognize when you're trading from frustration versus conviction? Like, are you able to recognize that these days?
I think that's what growing and actually becoming a real trader. Everybody comes into this, and I think that a lot of people come into this and they're just gamblers, right? They're doing the whole indicator search, and then they're so sure of themselves, and then the market bitch slaps them and lets them know, like, no, you're not. The market is random. I was listening to something the other day from who's that one guy, Mark something, and he was
Douglas
saying,
Douglas?
yeah, Mark Douglas, and he was saying. The market is random. If you're looking for certainty, don't be a trader, right? The market isn't your parent. It's a teacher, but it's not your parent. Um, I've been on a good streak too. My last 3 or 4 trades have just been monsters. And I noticed that it was patience that really paid off. People were like, oh, nobody saw this big crash. We shorted 126,000, like right at the top. And when we short the top, usually we'll take that to the bottom of the range. Well, we went to the bottom of the range. So it wasn't like market manipulation. No, it's just top to bottom, bottom to top. I did close out my short from the all-time high a little early. And so immediately I was pissed off because I had set a take profit. It was 100%. And then it just came and it closed out that trade. And I was like, damn, I shouldn't have done that. And immediately I want to get into another short. But I know price is probably going to still continue to go down, but I can't. Like my short is gone.
Yeah.
That's it. Like I engaged in my short. And when I was in my short, my plan was to ride my short until it's time to long. Well, you know what? That short was done and I have to continue with the plan. And the plan was to wait patiently to catch the long. So I needed to step away from the chart too. And then when we saw that big flush to the downside and everything just crashed, when I came to the charts, I thought immediately, I need to do something, right? I need to take advantage of this. This is going to be and I was thinking, wait a minute. No, I need to do nothing. Because everybody's probably rushing to the charts right now and buying, selling, panicking, this, that. And no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let the market catch its breath and wait for more data so I can make a high probability trade. And it was difficult. So I needed to take just a couple of days where I'm not trading, I'm just watching. And look what's been happening. We've just been ranging.
Yep.
We've just been going sideways. There's been no action. Yeah. So sometimes doing nothing is the hardest thing. But I think that as I grow as a trader, I realize that doing nothing, Jesse Livermore even said, I've made more money from doing nothing. I've made more money from patience than I ever have at impatience. Impatience is expensive. It's
Yeah,
expensive.
and think about that quote from Jesse Livermore, right? Like most of my money is made waiting, or however you want to paraphrase the quote, and and patience and discipline. Think about that. Like most of our losing trades, we can point to like I can point to reasons why I lost today. I can point to a million reasons why I lost today. And if I would have just waited and have been patient, I wouldn't have lost. If I would have just done what I normally do on a day to day basis, I wouldn't have lost. So that's where that waiting comes in. If I would have just waited and did what I was supposed to do, I wouldn't have lost money. Hence, I would have made more money. Right. So I think, like, should you be afraid of tilt? Should you just manage it? How much of tilt is emotional versus mental fatigue? What happens when you tilt? Is tilt really ego? Look, I think you need to understand what your tilt trigger is, to answer all those questions. I know for like everyone's different. Everyone is emotionally, psychologically. There we go. That's a big word. Different, right? So you need to figure that out for you. For me, the second that I feel emotions creeping in, I'm done. I'm done. That's it. I'm done for the day. I think people are addicted to trading. I think most retail traders are addicted to hitting buy or hitting sell. They always need to be in a trade. Every move and every wiggle is a trade they need to be in. It's like Monday of this week. Were the stock markets open? Yes. Was it a bank holiday? Was it a holiday where some kids were out of school and a lot of people were taking off of work, and were the market's going to be different? Yes. Take the day off. You don't need to trade. You don't. The markets will be here the next day when they open again. And then what happened Monday? Nothing. Price chopped sideways. Absolutely. You didn't miss a damn move on Monday. I think people are addicted to trading, and I think tilt plays into that. When you lose and you feel those emotions coming in, just step away. Otherwise, what are you going to do? It's everything we talk about. You're going to lose. You're going to revenge trade. So yeah, I think it's important to identify what your tilt triggers are. I just know from every single book I've ever read, from studying any single trader that I've ever studied, you have to detach from your emotions or manage your emotions at best. And once I feel those emotions come in, that's it. I'm done. Tilt is literally when emotions trade your account instead of you. That's what it is. It's you are no longer trading your account. Your emotions are. So I think, is tilt normal? I think it's normal to feel tilted, right? But I don't think it's normal to take that tilt into the charts. I think that would probably be like the definition of insanity, because we all know where that leads. That leads to more losses. How many times have you gone on tilt, Brian, and you've won? How many times have you been pissed off emotionally Like, "Oh, I'm gonna make this back," and have you actually won?
Uh, I can think of one, but it's a weird because it's a psychological trick that you play because when you're on tilt, you've already lost. So people have this psychological thing that says, if I get back to zero, then I've won, right? All I got to do is just get it back, right? And the funny thing about the market is it'll take away like that. And then you got to grind your way up, and then it takes away like that. Like I talked to a lot of people in the group about that. Man, I worked so hard for months and I was just stacking and I was building my account. And then I lost a big trade and I lost everything. Right. And it was everything revolves around emotion because they thought, oh, you know what? They got greedy and they thought, I'm going to up my amounts or up my leverage. And then they just lose big and then they're immediately on tilt. Tilt is just emotion. I think about it like poker again. The best poker players are sitting there and they're just stoic, because if you have a tell, you're kind of screwed. It's not like the market is watching you, but I feel like it's feeling you. I sent you that one quote the other day. It was from The Art of War, and it was Sun Tzu. He said, "The man who knows himself and the enemy can fight 1,000 battles without being hurt." And I think once you understand the market and you understand yourself, you can engage in that battle better. Because if you don't understand yourself, if you can't even see your own triggers, or you can't even see when you're on tilt, you can't even see when you're trading with emotion, right? A fool and his money are soon parted. An overly emotional person is foolish to trade.
Yeah, because it's not
Even
like
even being even being having I was pissed off at my daughter the other day. She said something, I felt disrespected, and I just thought, you know what? I'm not seeing anything right now. I just shouldn't trade. Sometimes having the discipline to know yourself and to just watch. It's hard to watch. You think you're
yeah,
losing.
today I lost 1.17% of my account. That's not gonna kill me. Far from it, right? A losing trade does not and should not kill you if you are risked properly. But the next 3 on tilt would have killed me, right? It would have just sent me further into a death spiral. And then I know what happens when I go on tilt or when I trade on tilt, right? I play fast and loose with the rules. Instead of risking 2% or 1% of my account, all of a sudden, yeah, what's 2%? Let's make that money back, right? Let's get that loss back to zero. And then my hole just gets deeper and deeper and deeper. The best traders, I lose better than you do, right? Good traders are just better at losing than you. We all lose. Everybody loses. Every trader in the world loses. The biggest investors in the world lose. Hedge funds blow up spectacularly. But I just lose better than most people. I recognize the tilt right away and I stopped it.
I think about I wrote myself something on my board up here last night, and it was just one simple question. Is my behavior and my thoughts and my actions in alignment with the trader that I want to be? Like, if you want to be a millionaire, act like it. Are you acting like a millionaire? Michael Jordan, you don't see him freaking out hitting players. You didn't see Kobe freaking out hitting players. These are the best of the best, and they behave like the best of the best. They win with class. Even I think it was Ali who said, I forget, but when he lost, he did it. He did it gracefully, right? There's a quote that says, "Always be the first, and if you're not the first, be the first one to congratulate the first." I think that losing is a huge part of trading. It doesn't mean that you're a bad trader. A winning team is thinking about the championship. They're not freaking out and over a loss. They're thinking about it, calculating what could have been done better, studying the enemy, studying themselves. I mean, everything is everything. I think that there could be a lesson in every single trade. And I grew more from my L's than I ever did my W's
Mm-hmm.
in everything in life. My L's were more teachers than ever was a W. A W never taught me anything. Prosperity is not going to show you who you are. Adversity is. Adversity in trading is going to show you who the fuck you are. Winning is not winning too much is dangerous.
Yeah.
You get cocky.
And look, I mean, there's studies and statistics that back up everything we're saying. We're not just on some like 85% of retail traders. This is just what I was saying. I know what happens when I lose and trade on tilt. I increase size, I increase risk. 85% of retail traders increase size after a losing trade. That's from a 2023 MyFX study. 70% of high probability, sorry, 70% higher probability of loss during emotional trading. That's from an MIT behavioral finance study, right? 90% of consistent traders enforce tilt control rules. You know, traders who pause 50 minutes after a loss reduce the next trade error by 40%. Tilt accounts for 70% of retail account wipeouts. Here's a crazy one, and I'm sure this one makes sense, right? There's a study out of Cambridge Finance. Stress hormones spike 30 to 40% within 10 minutes of an emotional trade. It's like, you know, like your own body is working against you hormonally, right? Your own body hormonally is working against you. You know, if you were started the session at 100%, and who starts at 100%? Maybe a good day's 90%, right? You're already hurting after that emotional trade, which was my trade today. And I know these things. I know these things because I've been doing it for so long, and I have the journal to back it up, right? Like I've dissected losing streaks. I've dissected tilt before, and just not doing it. Like I know, like it's easy just to say just don't do it, right? But it is easy. It's a choice. You have a choice. You have a choice when you lose and when you go on tilt and when you're feeling a certain way and you're in your emotions. You either sit at the computer and keep trading or you get up and walk away. That's it. You have a choice. Your choice is to hit buy or sell or go out and touch grass. That's it.
You know, it's like I was telling you the other day, before that big crash, I was at the computer and I I didn't really break a rule, but I set some limit orders and I thought, you know what, I'm going to set a limit order 112,000. It'll probably be weeks until we get there. And then I left and I got a notification when I was away from my computer and all of a sudden I'm in a trade. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know what's happening. My heart started racing. My blood pressure's through the roof. I'm stressed out. And the trade is in the loss. And I'm thinking, well, I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to scan for the news. I don't have any data. I don't know what's going to happen next. And I immediately just closed out the trade at a loss because it's not worth it to me. It's too expensive to me to sit there stressed out when I don't know what's going on. Right. And it was lesson learned. And that was it. And I'm not worried about it because statistically, I know that on paper, I'm going to make more than I lose. My winnings exceed my losings when I stick to my system that I built with you over years.
Yep.
And it was a hard lesson, and I needed to take a couple days off. Like, man, that was stupid. How come I didn't set a conditional stop loss? Well, really, I didn't know that everything was going to drop. You know, I didn't know that Trump was going to tweet, and then immediately I want to start making excuses, right? Champions don't make fucking excuses. They don't say, "Oh, it's market manipulation. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that." No, you probably just broke your rules. Suck it up and deal with it, right? And
Or in our case, didn't even look, even the rules were out the window.
Yeah.
Right. And look, I think, so yes, you know, yes, I get tilt, right? Yes, Brian feels tilt. It's just what we choose to do with that tilt. Like I said, it's a choice. It is your choice whether you sit at the computer or you wait till the next day and cool off. That's a choice you make, right? And I think tilt prevention starts before the day even begins. Tilt prevention should be built into your trading plan. How about daily risk budget, right? My daily risk budget is 1%. If I lose 1%, I'm done. That's it. Today, I lost 1%, I was done. That's it. If I lose 1%, I'm done. There's always tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. but I'm not turning that 1% into 2, into 3, into 4, and pretty soon I'm down 10% on my account because I revenge traded and just dug my hole deeper and deeper and deeper. What's your not you, I'm just this is a rhetorical question to the audience, but like do you know what your daily risk budget is? Is it a number? Is it a percent of your account? Is it a certain number of trades? I've heard people say 3 trades, 3 strikes and I'm out, right? But what is that? What does that actually mean from a percentage on your account standpoint? Is that 5% of your account? Are you willing to draw down 5% in a day? I'm not. I'm not willing to give up 5% of my account in a single day. But the most I'm going to give up is 1%. That's it. Lately, dude, I'm not even risking 1% on trades, right? Like I'm risking 0.3, 0.4% on trades. I can get this trade was more. This was just a shitty trade. This trade was a 1.17%. I'm looking at it now, 1.17% risk on my account. Most days lately, it's been, I mean, I'll show you. Here, I'll show you. Let me go ahead and share. Let me share my screen and let's go ahead and share my trading journal again. Boom. Risk percentage on account 0.58, 0.6, 0.6, 0.4, 0.6, 1.3, 0.5, 1.79, 0.49, 1.26, 0.6, 0.72, blah, 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 blah. Most of them have not been even a full percent. I can lose 1 or 2, and in some cases, 3 trades, and it's 1% on my account, right? So I don't want to tell everyone to do that. You do you at the end of the day. People don't listen to me and what I say anyways. I'm just going to tell you what I do, right? I'm just going to tell you what I do. So my daily risks budget is a percentage. It's not a dollar amount. It is not a number of trades lost. I am not addicted to trading, right? I'm addicted to these things, right? But I'm not addicted to trading. I don't care if I trade or don't trade today. I'm not in this so I'm a billionaire tomorrow, right? I'm in this so I am building wealth for the next 10 or 20 years. I'm in this so my family is set. I'm not risking 5% of my hard-earned money on a single day. It's 1%. That's it. What are your thoughts there? Look, let me ask you this. How much pain is Brian willing to accept or tolerate before the day is done?
I know enough to know that I'm an emotional person just off the cuff. So I have a low tolerance for pain in the market. So I can't, I can't. I saw a cool thing on TikTok where this guy had this skit of, from his girl's perspective. And it says, when my boyfriend has a red day and he's just upset and he's in the car and he's throwing, and then when my boyfriend has a green day and he's super happy. And I hate it when my trading dictates my mood for the rest of the day, for the rest of the week. I think that is bitch made. I hate that stuff. I think that controlling tilt is power. I think that when you have the discipline to not engage, to not go in, to not risk everything, I think that you're actually building personal power. And I knew right away, I was like, man, trading seems like it's personal development. The better you understand yourself, it's going to show up in your account. So for
And
me,
everywhere else in your life, like you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah. And it's like practice that power. When I was training for my competition, my physique competition, I wanted to overeat all the time, right? But when I would make it through a day and I wouldn't give in, man, I felt so much more powerful the next day, right? And so it's the same thing with trading. When I feel like, you know what? I feel like today I just have this feeling that I shouldn't engage in the market. I should just watch. And then when I can actually just watch and not do something stupid, I feel more powerful. I feel like I'm actually a better trader, a better person. Like I controlled my urges, right? You said something, instant gratification. Everybody wants that instant gratification. They want to come every single day and they want to get paid.
Everyone wants to make a Lamborghini every day, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Every day. Every day is the day they're going to get a Lamborghini.
yeah. And it's ego,
Not
you
3
know?
years or 4 years or 5 years from now, right?
Yeah.
Not, I'm going to get a Lamborghini in 3 or 4 or 5 years. It's this trade's going to change my life.
Yep.
That's how it is.
I'm gonna put my winnings up on my social media, and I'm gonna look at me. I made $500 today. I made $5,000 today. No, wealth is built. Everybody wants to get rich quick, but not many people want to get wealthy slow. And that's the difference: is that wealth doesn't leave. There's being and becoming, and there's acquiring and possessing. Everybody just wants to acquire and possess because it's instant gratification.
Yeah, professionals lose within parameters. That's how professionals lose. And that's anything. We can take that to any profession in the world, but we're talking trading. Professionals lose within parameters. Amateurs, right? Retail traders lose until it hurts. Right? They dig that hole so deep where they're just throwing shit at their computer and shutting it down, and then guess what? I know what happens next. I know because I've been there, right? I have been there. It affects my relationship with my wife, my relationship with my kids. It affects everything I do. We've talked about this in Discord as a group. We've talked about, like, you ever gone on tilt on a Friday and it just fucks up your whole weekend? I sure have. I sure have. It's fucked up weekends. I've lost trades where it's fucked up nights of sleep, right? So my daily risk budget is not about money. My 1% account loss is not about money. It's not. It's about emotion, right? I'm not controlling the money that I'm losing. I'm controlling my emotion because I know what happened for me. And look, maybe some of you guys are different listening. I can only tell you what I know and how I feel and how I work. And I think that's important. You got to know you. I know what happens when emotion takes over trading. When I am no longer in control and it's my monkey brain, I lose. So for me, that 1% is not about money, man. It's just about controlling emotion and controlling tilt. And I did a good job. I should be celebrating today, right? I should be. I should be celebrating that. I had one trade. I broke my rules, didn't even follow my rules, and I lost. And I didn't do anything afterwards. That I should be celebrating because the old me wouldn't have done that. The old me would have continued to sit at the computer and would have probably had 7 more trades on my journal right now. I would have turned $1,000 loss into probably a $10,000 loss like 2-3 years ago. 100% I would have. I know because I did that back then. And I don't anymore because that's it. I know now I have a choice, right, Brian? I can either get up and leave or I can sit at the computer, stew in my emotions and be a little bitch and lose more.
Yeah. I think what you have can be lost, but what you are is can never be taken. And if you are an over emotional little greedy little bitch on the charts, then you're not going to have much. But if you are a disciplined trader, then you'll never be afraid. And I think that fear has a lot to do with it too, right? Some people are so afraid to lose that, they'll go into a trade not really confident and just gambling.
Yeah.
I think that when you have control and you can control the tilt, right? Because we're emotional people. That's why I think it was you who told me the market's never going to change because people are never going to change. And God bless everyone who goes on tilt because the market needs them.
Yeah.
The market needs people to buy the top. The market needs people to sell the bottom. You don't want that to ever change. You just want to be on the other side of it because being on the other side of it with emotional control is how you make money in this market. And I pray that the people never change and that the market never changes.
Yeah. I know
Because
everyone's worried about AI and AI trading algorithms and all this shit. And I'm just like, dude, have you ever met a human being before? Like it's never gonna change, dude. Like there's always gonna be humans at the computer if it's just a bunch of AI bots trading in the markets, who who are these institutions gonna have to rob from?
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's, and what's funny was so the market cap right now, of Bitcoin is like, it's over 2 trillion. And it was half of that just the last time I looked. And so only more people are getting involved.
Look at open
Emotional people.
interest. Look at open interest was higher than 60 billion. Now it's considerably lower since last Friday, but it was like 60 billion or something like that across like most of the top major exchanges. So yeah, you're
Right.
right. You're right. There's more and more people getting involved. There's more and more futures trading. Um, particularly with Bitcoin. Like it's exploding right now.
So here's something to think about. 60 billion of open interest was flushed out of the market. But an
No, 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 no.
actual no?
It wa
Or
There was 60 billion total. It was like 8 billion or something.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Many billions
Yes,
of
yes.
open interest was flushed out of the market. But actual cash capital was nowhere near that.
No. Mm-mm.
And the reason why is because people were going in over leveraged.
Yep.
Right? And over leveraged people are emotional traders are trying to move too fast. And that's why the market can crash like that and flush everyone out.
Yeah. And look, most most prop firms, right? Most proprietary firms set a daily loss limit of 2%, 3%, right? I'm not saying yours has got to be what mine is or yours has got to be what Brian's is. We're only just telling you what we do and what you do you at the end of the day. But my daily risk budget is not how much I can lose. It's how much emotion that I can afford to feel, right? And I can't afford to feel that much emotion. I like my money too much. I do. I like my money too much. I'm not giving it away. I think the most disciplined traders, they quit on schedule, man. Like it's 1% for me, 1% done. That's it. I like one trade a day, dude. I'm happy with that. That's a win. If that's a loss, great. I win more than I lose. My strategy's pretty good for me. I know I can't trade well if I'm trying to fix my mood with the next position. And when I'm already starting from a loss, and it's not just a normal loss. Like I said, I can lose. I can lose fine, but it was a loss where I didn't follow my rules at all, right? The next trade's not going to fix. I just know that statistically, it's not going to fix my mood.
Mm.
I
That's a
think
great quote right there. The next trade is not going to fix you.
no, no, it's
Right?
not.
The next trade is not going to fix you, right? If you go into the next trade like, oh man, if I just get this trade, please, playing to the market gods, please just get me back to zero, right? That zero is not going to fix you. You're either the house or you're the casino. And when the casino's losing, they'll come up to your table and say, thank you for playing, sir. Please leave.
Yeah,
Right?
and it's
Uh,
no different. So the edge, the statistics, like it's no different than a casino, man. Like the longer you sit at the table, the odds shift to the house. Because
sure.
why? Emotions, your fatigue, mental fatigue, right? Like the longer you sit and stare at charts, like if you start the day at 100%, like are you still at 100% for staring at the charts for 4 hours? I want to meet that person. Like if maybe they are, I'm not. I don't work that way. Do you? I mean, I'm not saying that that can't be a thing. I don't know. It's just not how I work. Like if I'm staring at the charts for 4 hours and nothing's happening, I'm just honestly, dude. I'm just not in it. And maybe there's people there. I'm sure there's people who are not the same way. That's just me.
I'm either getting uninterested or I'm taking out my freaking microscope and I'm zooming in, right? I might
Yeah.
start off on the chart with a high time frame plan and be looking at a 30-minute chart. Man, if there's no action, I'm in there on the 30-second
Yeah.
chart looking
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
best
Yeah.
trade ever. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you just start to zoom in and just start looking for, it's just like it's make a plan and stick to the plan. Most people lose. And I think that everybody, when they look at their statistics, they could pretty much boil down the losers as I either didn't follow the plan, I didn't have a plan. Um, and if you did, and when I do have a plan and it doesn't work out, that's fine. If I set it and it's funny, my strategy currently is I'm looking for when, because I've been really using order flow a lot. And I'm just looking for someone to get caught off sides. I'm looking for someone to be on the wrong side of it. I'm looking for a bottom wick with a bunch of people shorting. And I'm saying that there's max pain. Uh, they're going to be in max pain. Now's a good time to engage because everyone else is on the other side of this. Yeah.
Yeah. So you say something a lot, and I've been stealing it lately. You say take a knee, don't tap out, right? You mentioned that kind of earlier. Like, I think real professionals know when to retreat. I think a tactical pause, it's not weakness. It's the reason that pros survive, right? So how do you stop like a bad day from becoming a bad week? What does taking a knee look like in trading terms to you? Like let's say
Yeah.
someone so this goes back to avoiding tilt, right? So someone, maybe has a couple of bad days, they're feeling a certain way. You've gotten these texts, you've gotten these DMs from people, right? Where they're in their feelings about something, they can't get it together. They've had a loss. They've blown up their account or something. What does taking a knee look like?
Well, for me, it's having a full life, right? When I first got into this, I did nothing else. Like I went from fitness competitions into trading, 100% all in, and I had nothing else. And you told me many times. You said, "Dude, get a hobby. Go get a fishing rod, and get a hobby. Go get some." And I realized, man, this is my whole life. And so it was so much easier when it consumes you just to be consumed when it doesn't work out. So for me, taking a knee is immediately shifting into something else that I like doing, right? I
Mhm.
might put on an audiobook. I might go out and take a bike ride, right? I might go hit the gym. Go hit the gym. That's usually on my list. Go hit the gym with some music. That always brings me right back. A body in motion is a mind at rest. When I'm all up in my head and I'm consumed, I just need to shift into something else. The whole take a knee thing, it was like I remember my coach used to always tell me when I would play sports, I'd be coming out of the game and I'd just be exhausted. My lungs are burning. I can't breathe. And I sit down and he go, what are you doing? Put your arms above your head. And I'm like, dude, what do you mean put my arms above my head? That's not going to help. He's like, take a knee. You're not out of the game. Don't act like you're out of the game. And I'm not out of the game just because I took a loss, but I will not be ready to enter the game again if I let it consume me. So I immediately just need to shift into something else, call someone up, maybe, be a good dad, um, hit the gym, take a bike ride, just get my mind off of it so I can let it process and then I can look at it differently,
Yeah.
right? It's like people who go on a breakup and they immediately go into the next relationship. It's like, nah, man, you're gonna when you're on a bad frequency, you're just gonna go find another bad frequency, right? You gotta just chill a little bit, take a little time, you know. Come back on a better frequency where you could look at it and go, oh, okay. Yeah, all right. You got to forgive yourself, right? If you break your system, if you come in
Yes.
angry at yourself.
Stopping isn't quitting, right? It's strategy. I watch a lot of basketball, and these are a lot of young players, a lot of them, right? Like they're in their 20s, man. Like some of them are 19, 18 years old, right out of 1 year of college, right? There are times where they get chippy on the court and they bump chests with other players, and it can turn into a problem during the game. Now, discipline is knowing when to disengage. That's what discipline is at the end of the day. It's when to engage, when not to engage, right? So some of these young players might not really be able to see that yet until they kind of mature. Some of the older NBA players do, but the coach, what does the coach do, right? When he sees their players going on tilt, go to the fucking locker room and chill out for 10 minutes, right? And so they do. They will leave the game mid game and they will go to the locker room and cool off. And then they come back cooled off and resume the game. Look, just like basketball, right? The markets will be here tomorrow. Your account might not be, right? Every pro in anything in life has walked away mid session, mid game, mid whatever. The amateurs never do. They never walk away. They never take that break. They never take that knee. They just blow up their account, man, and they revenge trade and trade and trade and trade for that dopamine because they're addicted to fucking trading. Taking a knee isn't losing; it's reloading. So then here's my follow up question to you: how long is taking a knee? Is it hours? How long do you step away after tilt? Is it hours? Is it days? What is it?
It's until.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the answer. The answer is until. It's like when people say, like, man, how long is it going to take me to be profitable? Until it does. Like, how long is it gonna take till I'm good at this? Until. Are you still game? Like, do you need a fucking date?
Right.
February of 2028. That's when you're gonna be good. Let's go. Like unfucking till. Are you in this or not? Are you fucking doing this or is it conditional? Is everything conditional with you? Right? Because like we said, there's no certainty in this game,
Mhm.
right? And it's until. And if you're a beast and you're not going to tap, then you go until. So you step away until. You're not missing anything,
Yeah, and
right?
I th and I think that's what a lot of people don't realize, or they probably realize it, but they're just lying to themselves, like, until, right? How long is it gonna take me to be a profitable trader? As long as it fucking takes, but you know what you don't have to do in the process? Lose a bunch of money, right?
Yeah.
Load up an account with $20,000 and then blow it up, and then load it up again and then blow it up. You don't have
Yeah.
That's a choice. That's a choice. This is all about choices. You either just put a little bit of money on there and get your system and prove to yourself that you can be disciplined, you can walk away when you need to, you can take a knee, you can have a daily risk budget, and you can control your emotions and tilt. And until then, you got no money, no business throwing money, real money onto an exchange at all. Zero. You're I mean, am I right?
I think most people really have no business trading.
Yeah. No, you're right.
And that's the sad truth. I think that most people really have no business trading. You're fucking gambling. You're just throwing it away. And now, when I first started studying under you, you told me, I've seen this a million times, Brian. And I thought, damn, you've seen people come and go. And then now, as I've been here for years, I've seen people come and
You've
go
seen
too.
people come and go, and
I've seen
people.
people come and go.
There was
Uh,
a meeting where we were talking about the failure, or I don't know, maybe a year ago, where we were talking with the group about the failure rate to traders, and I was telling people like, look, man, this is fucking hard work. This is the highest attrition profession in the world, right? 95% of people who set out and say I'm going to be a day trader fail, and they lose money spectacularly.
yeah.
Someone in the group said, well, not us because we're here, right? That person's no longer here.
Yeah. I knew a guy, and those same people that come in and they're usually doing something else, and then they won't exceed at that, and then they do something else, and they do something else. They're constantly life hopping, right? They're
Yeah.
constantly
Yeah.
goal hopping and life hopping because like, oh, this is not working. I've gone to the next thing. Now I'm going to be a professional bike rider. Now I'm going to be a MMA grappler, right? Or now I'm going to be. I think it all boils down to until. If you come into
Yeah.
do you ever see that Friends episode where, Phoebe, her boyfriend is going for the Ultimate Fighting Championship, and he just goes into the Ultimate Fighting and he just gets absolutely demolished, and she goes and sees him in the, locker room, and he's just messed up, and she goes, "Okay, did you get this out of your system?" And he goes, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "Well, are you done with this?" And he goes, "Well, am I the ultimate fighting champion?" And she's like, "What? This guy's never gonna quit, right? He's nothing can stop him." It's that until mentality. I have one trick that I'm gonna tell you that I do.
Mhm.
I have a laminated photo of all the huge prominent figures, Jesse Livermore, Rockefeller, and when I lose a trade, I do this thing. I sit at the table and I mentally go and I sit at a table with all of them, and it's like, do I deserve to be at the table, right? Because in this industry, you're either at the table or you're on the menu, and you really got to know where you're at.
Yeah, look, I'm pulling up something here. Like, who has lost in life before success in trading in other areas of life, right? Paul Tudor Jones, right? One of the most famous, huge hedge fund guy, right? He's always on the front page of CNBC, right? He's a huge guy. Early in his career, he lost almost everything trading cotton futures, right? This was early on. Now, that experience led him to focus oh my God, to focus relentlessly on risk management and capital preservation. And so the loss started the foundation of his legendary career. And look, probably his most famous quote, you know what it is?
Paul Tudor Jones.
Losers, average losers, right? Jesse Livermore started off shittily. Stanley Druckenmiller. These are all people, by the way, who have written trading books that we all study, right? Um, Mark Minervini, Michael Marcus. How about Steve Jobs? Steve Jobs was fired from the very company he founded, right? And then he used that experience to grow what? Pixar. Did you
Mm.
know that?
I didn't know that. I did not know that.
How about Elon Musk? He
Mm.
nearly went bankrupt. I bet you guys didn't know this. He nearly went bankrupt funding Tesla and SpaceX in 2008.
Yeah, he had to borrow for the rent after he sold PayPal $141 million and he sunk everything into his own and he had to borrow the rent.
Yeah. How about J.K. Rowling? She
She was homeless.
She was homeless, living in a car. She was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter was accepted. Lived on welfare, writing in cafes. Harry Potter's a fucking global phenomenon now, right? She's a
Yeah.
freaking billionaire. Walt Disney. Get this. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for, get this, lacking imagination. And I
Yeah,
mean,
I think
we can go on. There's plenty of examples of this. Look,
yeah.
the point is, most people's greatest successes in life are on the other side of failure.
Mm.
Mine, Oprah's, Walt Disney's, J.K. Rowling's, probably every successful person that you know. A lot of people will call it luck, right? Elon Musk just got lucky, right? No, he didn't. He was damn near bankrupt, right? He slept on the fucking floors of Tesla and worked 25 hours in a 24-hour day, right? I mean, it's not luck, man. It's hard work. All these traders came before us, started off just like I did, just like you did, losing. And on the other side of that, right, it gave them the relentless focus on what? Risk management, capital preservation, daily risk budgets, I mean, it's all this stuff. Anyway,
I think it's very important that here we go. And I'm always asking you, what is the work? Right. And I think that the work sometimes is stepping away.
yeah, I need to do
Sometimes,
that.
sometimes that is the work, right? You need to step away. Sometimes the work is, and most of the time, the work is waiting. It's waiting. It's stepping away. I think this is a profession where most people step to it and go, I need to do something. I need to be doing something. I just get in, oh, it's good enough. I'll just get in the trade here. I'm confident that it's going to go the right way. And it doesn't, right? It's a combination of things, but a lot of times, most of the time, I think the work is knowing when to step away, knowing when to wait, and knowing when to engage.
Yeah. So why do traders then defend bad habits so hard? And they do. They get defensive about it.
Yeah. So I was reading this thing where it talks about how the middle class is the most delusional of all. The poverty class, they don't believe anything's real, right? They believe it's all a scam. You can never get ahead. The rich keep on getting richer. The poor keep on getting poorer. The rich people they know what can be achieved because they've gotten there. But the people in the middle are the most delusional of all because they know that a higher level exists. And I think that they're dishonest with themselves about what they're doing, how much they're doing, and what their performance is, right? Because nobody wants to say, like, it's hard to say, like, what I did was wrong. Usually mentally, there'll be some excuse that pops in. So I think that it's just that delusion of being in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's the difference between good and great. And the difference between good and great is just a razor's edge.
So there are a couple of traders in our group who I think have a real shot, who I think have a real shot at being successful traders. And I know this because they're humble enough to take feedback. I think if you can take criticism without defending your ego in trading, you're going to be a successful trader. I think the only traders who stop tilting are the ones who are humble enough to take feedback. When was the last time that feedback changed your trading?
Well, usually most of my feedback comes from you, and you're pretty merciless. So sometimes you need to go and heal. I need to heal for a couple days. And then, usually typically you're right. You know, what's funny is you say there's a couple traders that, are going to be great. And I know, and I'm not trying to put anyone on blast, but fuck it. I'm going to speak freely. I know a couple traders that absolutely could be monsters,
Yeah.
but they probably won't because they're too overly emotional and they can't step away. And when they do step away, it's like, I've been sober for 13 years. And when I see people who get sober, right, it's hard. They usually have a relapse. And then when they relapse, they think, I need to redo everything and go back and do 10 times this. And no, it's just, you need to keep on chipping away, focus on the day after day after day, stack those wins, stack those base hits, and then you'll have that confidence behind you and you'll continue on. Most people take one loss and they see it as the whole system is broken. I need to completely change everything. I need to be it. No, I look at it like a code, and there's little things that might be wrong in the code and you just fix it, right? You just fix the little things in the code and you make it function.
Yeah, I think pride can ruin a trader faster than bad entries can. I really do. It's tough for me, but Dunki does keep me in check, and you too. You in other ways, right? Dunki keeps me in check, but you do too sometimes with trading. But like Dunki, like today, for example, I was tilted, and I was texting him about being tilted, and he kind of brought me back down to earth. So should every trader have a peer who checks in on him? I think so, man. Like, I think, dude, trading is so fucking lonely if you're doing it by yourself, right?
Yeah.
I think you need a peer or a peer group, even if it's not tactical edge trading. Like, if it's you vibe better with someone else. If I'm not your flavor or Brian's not your flavor, find someone, man. Find some real group, not some fucking moon boy bullshit, but some real down to earth group, right? That talks about their losses. That's not just posting bullshit in a brag wall. You know, I think you have to take criticism, man. I think you have to trust others to call you out mid tilt. I think it can be tough, man. I know I don't like being criticized. I mean, who does, right? Who does? But I think I have enough humility to listen to it, and maybe not right there in that moment, right? But once I cool down a couple hours later or the next day, it hits, right? It makes sense.
Yeah. I call it hiding in plain sight. Um, there was someone told me something a long time ago. They said, hey, Brian, if you want something in life, go get it. If you want it faster, get a mentor. And, you choose your mentors wisely. But once you choose your mentor, you have to be willing to accept and say, I'm under this mentorship. I know what I'm going for. I know what the work is. And here I go. I think that you have to have somebody who knows the whole story, or else you're hiding in plain sight, right? What's the alternative if you don't have an accountability buddy or a coach or a mentor? You're in your head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you are, so you're, you're your own coach. Uh, it's going to take you so much longer and there's going to be so many more battles unless you have such a strong self-witness. How are you going to coach yourself into the best people have coaches? And I think that somebody needs to know the whole story. What a lot of people do in trading and trading with losses is they'll tell this person that, and they'll tell this person that, and they'll tell a little bit about this person. And then they think like, oh, I got it all out. No, you spread it all out. No one knows the whole story. It's like the journal right now. The journal is being in Tactical Edge, the journal challenge. Everybody can see the journal, right? You can see everybody's journal. The truth is out there. The whole story is out there. And then they can take that criticism. You can look at it and go, all right. Because what if somebody calls you up and tells you, like, they post in the brag wall, 100% win, 200% win, 80% win. And you're like, this person's probably doing good. And then you get a message saying, man, I'm tanking. I'm in the red. It's like, well, shit, you've only been bragging about shit for the last 3 months.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
no idea this was happening. And they're hiding in plain sight, right? So somebody has to know the whole fucking story. You have to get a coach and you have to be accountable to your team, to your word. Somebody needs to know the whole story if you're going to get better. That's why I like basketball coaches. They see what happens on the court. If something happens off the court, they should know about it, right? Because they should know, like, hey, he's dealing with this off the court. You gotta bring your whole game. You
And
gotta
they
bring your
do.
truth.
Trust me. Professional coaches, they know what's going on outside the court. They know what's going on inside the court. You'll see sometimes a player is missing that game and they will list it as personal reasons, right?
Yeah.
They ain't sick. They ain't got the flu. They're just dealing with their shit just like everyone else deals with their shit. They're better off not with the team that day. They're better off taking a knee than they are bringing whatever that shit is they're dealing with outside the court inside.
Yeah, that is teamwork,
Yeah.
right? When I know that I'm injured, right? I'm
Yep.
injured. I'm only going to slow down shit. Put in this person. I
Yep.
think that is the metaphor for being on tilt. When you're on tilt, you're injured. You need to sit down, right? You need to sit down. That's going to help your team. And in trading, you are the team.
Yeah, so I think to kind of start to tie this all together, right? Like the psychology of losing streaks. Like, look, I am living proof that every streak ends, right? I mean, I was on a nice little winning streak that ended today, right? I've been on losing streaks and that one day ended, right? So every streak ends. I think the question is whether you let it end clean, whether it ends clean, or whether it just ends you, right? Whether it just completely ends you, period. So how do pros handle losing streaks differently from amateurs? I think number one is you need to define what a losing streak is. What defines a streak? Is it data or is it emotion? I think it's emotion. I think obviously you need the data, right? But I know that when I get on losing streaks, I'm tilted, man. I know in the past, I know from journaling that when I have 6 or 7 trades in a day, that is almost always a losing day. I know that when I have one trade a day, statistically, that is a winning day. So for me, it's yeah, I can see it with the data and have it. I'm pointing at my trading journal up on my other screen. I can see it with the data, right? But what all this is telling me right here is emotion, right? Winning streaks, losing streaks, tilt. When I have more trades in a day, I typically my win rate goes down. What's it for you? Like, what how do you think about that? Like, what defines a streak? You know, like let's just say losing streak. Is it data or is it emotion? Like, what is it?
Yeah. So once again, I really think about it. There's a book that I read. It's called Thinking in Bets. Um, and I think in bets, and it's like I look at it like a poker game. I ante up. My ante is my stop loss, right? Uh, if I play to the river and I'm confident in my hand and I get beat, I got beat, right? If I'm losing multiple hands and it looks like the odds are or something is wrong, right? Then then I look at it like a streak type of thing, right? Then I really have to focus on my system. But if I lose a couple trades, and these days I can look at it and say like, oh, okay, you know what? Everything was there, right? Everything in my system called for it, right? We swing failure pattern to low. There was trap traders. It was a good time to enter, and then I got wicked out. Like the market got me. I think having the clarity of unemotionally being able to look at what happened and just knowing like, hey, this is going to happen in trading. You're not going to win everyone. And so for me, it's just looking at it clearly and saying like, was this the market or was this my emotion or was this a flaw in the system? Did I not trade to plan? Yeah, I don't really look at streaks. I'm just focused on the next trade.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm kind of the same way. I don't let streaks define me. Obviously, it's nice to be on a winning streak, right? It's nice. It feels good when you get 10 wins in a fucking row. And it feels shitty when you get 10 losses in a row. I don't think streaks define you. I think your response to them does. You can't win every battle, right? But you can win the war. And I think confidence is earned. Confidence is earned in drawdowns. The best traders shrink size, not discipline.
Mm.
A losing streak doesn't end with luck. How many, like It doesn't. It ends with logic. It ends with your discipline and your system.
Mhm.
I think slumps end the moment you stop caring about the score. And that's what really when trading changed for me. Like when I stopped just caring. And I don't take this the wrong way, but when I stopped caring about this trade's going to make me a billionaire or oh I missed this trade or I lost when I stopped caring about that shit, man, like that's when trading really changed for me. Like losing streaks do not destroy traders. They don't. All traders go on losing streaks, but tilt does, right? What kills me is 6 losses in a day, not 6 losses in a week, right? It's the 6 losses, 7 losses, 8 losses in a day that kill me, not 10 losses in a month or 20 losses in a month. It's avoiding those days for tilt.
Mhm. I can't tell you how many times, or I can't tell whoever's watching how many times I've shown you a picture of my trading platform, and you've messaged me on the side saying, "Man, I know that you're stressed out right now. I see all those buy, sell, buy, sell, buy. I see all those. You've taken 5 trades today. There's no way, there's no way you're having a good day. Like, you're all over the place." And I've looked at it and go like, "Yeah, you know what? You're right. It hasn't happened in a long while." And you know what the funny thing is right now I am on a losing streak. And I did take a hit when that event happened on Friday with that whole tweet thing or whatever, for whatever reason. I did take a big hit, but I still consider myself on a winning streak because my system has been applied and I've been crushing it. So even though I did take a loss in between there, I'm not I'm totally unaffected, right? For me, it was a win, kind of a win, because I was just able just to cut it, and that trade would have actually ended up ending in like a $10,000 win. But I'm not like going, damn it. I would have been so in the money if I just wouldn't have cut that trade, if I just would have let it bleed. These days, because I have more emotional control, I can say to myself, it's all right. It was worth a couple grand to me not to stress on it, step away, come back fresh. I know my winnings way exceed those losses or that loss, and my system is killing it. So all I got to do is keep on applying that.
Yeah, and look, I'm the same way. I mean, dude, I must have talked about it 6 months ago or something, or maybe I don't know. I'm time blind. Some months ago, and I said to people in one of our Saturday morning Discord meets, which was kind of like a little therapy session we did back then. It's a little different now, but like, look, every like once or every other week, there will be one day where I over trade, right? And without that one day, I would have more money in my pocket, right? That one day didn't like I was still a profitable trader. Didn't like wipe everything out, but I would have more money in my pocket if I could just cut that one fucking day out, right? I think look, every trader, myself included, tilts. You'll never outgrow it. You won't. You'll never outgrow it. You'll never outgrow fear. You'll never outgrow greed. Hopefully you'll keep your ego in check, but I don't think I think everyone has an ego to some extent, right? Like no one's completely dead of ego, right? I think you just learn to contain it faster. You learn its signs, you build your rules, and you stop when you're supposed to. Amateurs, I think, fight tilt by trading harder. The pros fight it by doing absolutely nothing. That's what I did today. I noticed tilt, I noticed emotions creeping in, and I did nothing. And that's
Yeah.
a win. I should be celebrating that. Sometimes, like Brian said, sometimes doing nothing is the most professional thing that you can do. And I think that's why a lot of things we talked about today, like daily risk budget, it matters, right? Your hard stop, right? It's not about being scared. It's about knowing your limits. You need to know you, right? As Brian has said many times today, you don't need to win today. And that's something that I have come to realize. I don't need to win today. I lost today, right? There's tomorrow. I just need to make it to tomorrow. Right?
Yeah.
I don't need to win today. I just need to make it to tomorrow.
The antidote to tilt is nothing.
Yeah. And if you break your streak, like I did today, right? I broke a winning streak. So what? Every streak ends, man. Michael Jordan's streaks ended, right? Kobe's streaks ended. Wayne Gretzky's streaks ended. Every streak ends. The only thing that matters is that you end it clean. No ego, no revenge trades, no spiral, man. You take the loss, take the knee, write the fucking journal entry and move on, because discipline isn't about never slipping. We're all going to slip, right? We're all going to fall. It's about catching yourself fast. And I think that's the difference between amateurs and professionals. And how amateurs handle it and how professionals handle it. And I think at the end of the day, tilt's not the enemy. I don't think it is. I feel tilt still. Like right now, even right now from this trade, I'm still pissed off about it, dude. I still am. It's a mirror though. And it shows me exactly where I'm still weak. And if I'm honest enough to look at it and dissect it, and trust me, I'm going to, and we have a meet tonight, I'm going to talk about it. That's where you fucking level up, man. That's where you level up and stop repeating those same mistakes. And the market reminded me today, I'm not invincible, right? I'm human. And that's the truth. Survive your tilt days and the wins will take care of themselves. That's all I got, man.
So final message is until. And until.
And you don't have to fucking blow up and bleed money. And look, when you do that, just think about that. It's like Brian said with the story about the UFC fighter on Friends. Showing up to the market with a $20,000 or a $10,000 or, it's all relative, right? Maybe it's $1,000 for you. And just hopping in is no different from me going and fighting in a UFC fight right now. It's the exact same thing. There is no difference professionally between the two. And if you can't control that urge, that greed, that I need to make money today right now, go donate your money to charity, man. Because all you're going to do is donate it to some idiot on the other side of your trade.
Yeah. I think the hard truth is it's going to take until.
Yep.
Are you in or are you fucking out?
If you're in, be fucking in. Like, stop this half-ass fucking bullshit. If you're in, be in. Go find another hobby if you're not. Pick up a guitar, right? Go golfing. It's a lot fucking cheaper. It's a lot cheaper. That's all I got, dude. Let's get out of here.
All right.
See you guys for the next one.